everybody, I'm back. I know I was gone for a little while, but I've done a lot of things in the past month and a half. I'm working on the garden. If you watched the video I made with the garden tutorial on how to convert a wheelbarrow into a little planter, well, it's no longer a little planter, it is actually a psychotic mass of plants. But today we're going to do something else for the garden. We're going to create a bird feeder, a teacup bird feeder. And there's lots of different options you can do with the teacup bird feeder. You could do one that hangs from a string from a shepherd's hook, but today we're going to do one that is attached to a pole. And it is actually removable from a pole. I'm going to give you a lot of little options too when you do this. You can use copper piping, or you could use just regular dowels. You can get cheap cups from a flea market or a craft sale or whatever, or a tag sale, or you could be like me, lazy, and just go to Home Goods and buy the ones on clearance. But whatever you want to do, it looks super cute in your yard, and it is a lot of fun for just to watch the birds. That is really one of my favorite things to do this summer, is just lay around and watch the birds. So it's going to vary what you need for this project based on how you want to go forward. Obviously, you have to start with a teacup. I did not find one at a beautiful tag sale or gift shop. I bought mine on clearance at Home Goods. Completely up to you. You'll need a fixative. I used E6000 in my example, but you can use super glue or Gorilla Glue. You'll need a tape to hold the cup in place while it's drying. I use masking tape, but painter's tape would work just as well. You'll need caps to go on top of the pole and on the bottom of your saucer. The reason we're doing it that way is so you can actually remove the saucer from the bowl for cleaning or storage. You will need a pipe or a dowel. I chose to use 1/2-inch diameter copper piping and a 1/2-inch diameter dowel. I purchased them at Home Depot for a nominal cost, and they actually did the cutting of the pieces for me. You'll need some craft paint if you decide to use a dowel, because you want to decorate it. You don't want it to be just a wooden stick in the earth. And last but not least, you'll need some polyurethane if you are painting a dowel so you can protect it. Okay, so this is where the guessing begins. How do you attach the teacup to the saucer? After some attempts, I realized that if you want to hang this by a string off, say for instance, one of the shepherd's hooks, you want to make sure that your handle on your cup is directly vertical. Plus, this will allow you to put some of the seed inside the cup and have it spill out onto the cup. So what I did was I chose an E6000 glue. And would have been wise if I took the cap off it. It would have made this a lot quicker. Okay, so what I did was, at that point, is I approximated where the edge was, and I put a nice fat blob of E6000. It would be fat if I could get it to come out of the tube. E6000 glue down the side of the cup, especially on the rim where the contact's going to be made, and all the way to the very base. And you want it to be a good thick bead of this so it holds on nice and tight. And then you're going to place it on your teapot or your saucer, just so, and press it down into place. All right. To make sure it stays in place, I just used a couple of pieces of tape to tape it down, because it's going to take a little while for this epoxy to dry. and you don't want the cup to move from its original position. They say E6000 glue will dry relatively quickly, but I really want it to be a firm grip, so I suggest you let this rest for about 24 hours. So when we come back tomorrow in 24 hours, theoretically, this cup will be stuck to the saucer. Okay, so once you've let your cup cure onto your saucer so it's nice and firm, you want to take a piece of sandpaper and gently rub the sandpaper onto the bottom of your plate. What we're doing there is creating a little bit of a tack surface, so when we attach the cap to the bottom of the plate, it'll actually stay firm. So after you sandpaper the bottom of the plate, saucer, you want to apply a nice liberal bead of the E6000 or whatever fixative you're using, and attach your cap. Okay, this is essential because the cap is going to be what holds your saucer onto your bird feeder pole. Along with that, I created this lovely whimsical pole. All it is a 97-cent dowel from Walmart. I painted it with some craft glue. I made some polka dots on my Cricut machine with permanent vinyl, and then I did a nice coat of polyurethane over the top just to make sure it withstands the weather. In the alternative, you could just get a copper pipe. There is a 10-foot long piece of copper pipe at a Home Depot, and they cut it into two pieces of 4.5 and 5.5 feet for me, so I could have them side by side and have matching bird feeders. It's a thin-walled pipe, so I paid less than $10 for the 10 feet, which is nice because it basically cost about $4.50 per pipe. So here's a little section of my garden. It's in the area where we park our cars, actually. So what I've done is I've taken the copper pipe that we purchased and I hammered it into the ground, at least a good 6 inches for the support. I used a rubber mallet to do so because if you were to use a hammer, you could damage the integrity of the top of the pipe. I was able to easily place the cap onto the top of the pole, and it's pretty sturdy. It'll hold a little bit of weight if the birds sit on it. Last but not least, fill your teacup and let those little babies come and enjoy it. Oh, you see a little bee in the background? Let those little babies come and enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you, and have a great day. Oh, here's a little picture. Have a great day.